Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 325. Any more managers going to get the heave ho? I'm Nick. We got Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic. How we doing, Nick?
Doing pretty well. You know, we got Rob Thomson gone, Alex Cora rumored to kind of go in there, Mendoza on the hot seat. We got some stuff to talk about, and a lot of milestones this week too. Kind of cool.
It's a bad week to be an MLB manager.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will get into it, but first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding Third Baseball, we have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases. Just a great way to support us and to get our name out there. And finally, on Patreon, we are looking to grow that community, put exclusive content on there, and it's a platform that actually supports creators like Harrison and myself. So please check that out over on Patreon. All right, so let's just start. Rob Thomson fired, and then Mattingly hires Mattingly. So Mattingly's son hires his father, who's now on the bench. What's your thoughts on this whole entire situation, Harrison?
I love the I love the comment Thompson had made a couple days before he got fired when they asked kind of what was going on. He goes, "I really don't know. I don't know. Like we just don't seem to be playing good baseball." And I was like, "Wait, what? Did I hear that right? You don't know what's going on with the team? Yikes!" So it seemed pretty obvious what was going to come next.
Yeah, I mean that's grounds for like immediate dismissal. That's just telling the world like, yeah, I don't have a pulse on this team. I don't know where we need to go. Which, to his defense, where do you go with that team? I don't think I'd know either.
I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, he's kind of like Cora. You know, everybody's struggling. They're off to terrible starts. The vibe seems off. The culture seems weird. So there's definitely like more to it than just like not performing. But for the manager to come right out and say like I don't know what's going on is that was a bold move,
Yeah.
and kind of told you where things were. And it also, I mean, Phillies fans were very, I think, kind to him and appreciative of what he did for them. But I think Phillies fans also realized like what was really going on the last year and a half there, and that was Thompson was kind of just riding it out. I don't think there was a lot of direction coming from the manager spot.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Reed says Thompson had to know he was on thin ice once Cora got the axe. I think he was the first domino to fall, right? I mean, you have three organizations that are supposed to be at the top of their division in the Mets, the Phillies, and the Red Sox, and they're bringing up the basement in the entire MLB, not just their divisions, like the worst records in baseball, like
bad,
real bad. You had to know that was coming. Ryan says if Mattingly turns this dumpster fire around directly to Cooperstown, could you imagine? Could you imagine, man?
Now that'd be an interesting trivia question. Has anybody won Manager of the Year when they didn't start the season with the team?
I would have to look. I would imagine somewhere down the line. I mean, there's a lot of history.
I mean, I think so, but
that's
I can't think of a situation where that's happened.
Yeah, I can't either. But yeah, I mean, it was. I think everybody saw the writing on the wall because we talked about it last offseason. We're like, how you're supposedly tearing down this organization, which they didn't really tear it down. No. I mean, Schwarber re-signed and they just moved on from Castellanos. That's not tearing it down.
Best case, like maybe they repainted, but they certainly didn't tear it down.
they just covered over the old wounds, but they're still bleeding through. Like
fresh wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. Because we didn't expect him to come to be alive or on the team out of the offseason, and here we are. So kind of knew it was coming, especially with that start.
Yeah, and I think the only reason that they didn't let him go, and we talked about it, was if they were going to make big changes, maybe at least having some consistency from the manager would help transition that. But they didn't go make big changes, and when you get off to a start that bad with a payroll that high, there's really only one guy whose head rolls in that situation. So,
Ryan, I venture to say Donnie could probably hit 6 for them right now.
Yeah, they would
Yeah.
probably appreciate having that injection to the lineup because it's bad.
Right. Curtis says, now I have to be a Philly fan because of the hometown kid, Donnie. I mean, you don't have to. You still can hate him.
Yeah,
but
Curtis,
I get it.
Curtis, don't misunderstand us. Like, we don't want you to subject yourself to that kind of punishment and torture as to become a Phillies fan, unless you want to. Like, that has to be entirely up to you. We're not encouraging that.
Please give the entire Mets organization the boot. Listen, Scott, I can see it. Oh, you're right.
Did McKeon come in during that? That might be the one.
Good call, Scott. Nice work on that one, buddy. I'll have to call Jack myself and see how that went down. I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks, so I'll have to check that out. So you're saying Castellanos was actually the centerpiece? I mean, possibly.
It's fair to say the team fell apart once he left town.
Yeah.
And that was actually the one thing people said about Castellanos, so that he was a good teammate. He was generally a good guy in the clubhouse. I mean, he had his moments with the front office and stuff like that, but he was generally a well-liked guy. Maybe he was the glue guy. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't had their moments with the front office on that team? Let's be honest.
I mean, fair. Dave Dombrowski is an acquired taste. He leaves quite a track. He has quite a track record and leaves quite a path of destruction in his wake. Ask the Red Sox. We live through the cleanup after he leaves town. Yeah. But it's that organization is just in a weird spot.
Yeah. Scott, you didn't need to tell us that you looked it up. You could have just sounded like a genius. But either way, thank you. Appreciate it. So,
Ryan, why does clowning Philly feel so natural?
I don't know.
Because there's no fans in the world that are more fun to pick on than Phillies fans.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I don't know. They're a mess. Does Mattingly turn them around? Maybe. I mean, we've seen the Red Sox play a little bit better underneath Tracy. So, I mean, just a change in leadership, a change in the locker room seems to help a little bit. I don't know. The Phillies are I think their window was last year and they missed it. It's completely shut.
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle to really make a run and really be a contender for a little bit. They have some holes. They definitely have, they have their own set of issues, but this team should be a lot better than this.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with all that talent, all that money.
Yeah. So on the heels of that, the Phillies run to Alex Cora, and we were thinking like, oh, the Mets are going to fire Mendoza like really quick after Thompson. Somehow he's still hanging on to his job, but for now. And it seemed like it was almost going to be like a bidding war. Like, oh, who's going to get him first, the Mets or the Phillies? The Phillies went right to Alex Cora, and he goes, no, thanks. So I ask you, he says he wants to spend more time with his family. So I don't think we see Alex Cora again, at least this year. So first of all, do you blame him is the first question. And the other question is, does he have another job this year after his comments?
I mean, if the sense is, so interesting to back up on the whole Phillies thing. So Dave Dombrowski reached out to Cora the day before as a friend, just to kind of like, hey, checking in on you. How you doing? They didn't talk about the Phillies job. It was the next day that Dombrowski and the front office decided, okay, we got to make a change. And he called Alex back to be like, hey, by the way, would you come manage here if we made a move? To which Cora said, no, thanks. I'm enjoying being a parent and being home. To which Dombrowski just kind of shrugged it off, said, totally cool, get it. They made the move anyways. The sense is that Cora is not looking to rush into another job. I mean, the Red Sox owe him what, another $12 million or whatever on that contract, or $10 million, whatever's left on it.
Too much.
So if I'm him, I might be tempted to just enjoy the rest of this year, get paid. I wouldn't necessarily want to take a job going into the lockout, so maybe take next year off too. And and then come back after that with a fresh start when things are back. So I don't know. It's not a bad time for Cora to go take an extended vacation and just enjoy life, because between his playing career and coaching career, he hasn't had like an extended period off. And he's even said that, like, I've been on the road basically my whole life, and maybe it's a good chance to take a break.
Well, 2018 or 2017, he had a break, whatever, but whatever.
Yeah. Not the break he was looking for, but
yeah. Cora knows the trash cans in Phillies are plastic, not metal. Curtis says Mets, maybe. I don't know. Is that part of it too? Is like, you look at the Mets roster and how they're playing. You look at the Phillies roster and how they're playing. Do you really want to go in there halfway through the year and try to, right the ships, plural? I don't. That's tough for anybody. So,
well, and that's the hard part. Like, the only teams hiring right now are teams that suck, that have fired their managers. Do you want to go in there and take one of those teams over? Probably not. I mean, is that exciting to go manage, this Phillies dumpster fire of egos and big contracts? Do you want to go deal with all the Mets nonsense and that front office and Steve Cohen? Like, if I'm Alex Cora, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait for a better job to show up, because I don't think either one of those are necessarily great gigs.
Now, do you think teams with all the, trash can stuff, Astro stuff, do you think some teams would be hesitant to bring Alex Cora in, or is all of that behind him?
I feel like that's behind him. The punishment was handed out. He served his 1 year suspension, which, okay.
Yeah. Slap on the wrist.
Right. So I feel like that at this point is all in the past. I think people have kind of, like I said, like the Astros were like the biggest scandal that just got swept under the rug. I feel like fans have just forgotten about it. So I don't think there's any hangover from that. I think that he's going to get options, and he just has to figure out which one's right for him and when the time is right. But if I'm him, I probably don't rush into it. I wait for a good job to pop up.
Yeah. Michael, I can sit on the couch for $12 million a year. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, he's making $7 million a year, and they owe him half of what's left or more than half of what's left for this year. So it's like it's like 12 or 13 million bucks that's still owed to him.
It's crazy. Even though, my mom asked, do they still have to pay him even though they fired him? And that's crazy. If I get fired from my job, my pay stops. It's not like, oh, hey, you got to pay me for us.
That's the downside to that at-will thing and not being under contract.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Philly should have blown it completely up, like we all said in the offseason. 1,000%, Ryan. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it. And we all said the window is closed. They had to win last year, and they got bounced like they got bounced. And it's like, okay, like, now what, you have to reset this entire place. And instead, they kind of roll into this year, and like, roll, I guess, is the right word, because that seems to be all they're doing is just rolling over. And they're not competitive. So I don't, it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the best chance, like you said, to really push the reset button was this offseason. They didn't, they largely ran it back. And it's not working to this point. I'll be curious if we see them turn it around, or if this team is just going to mail it in, because the one thing about the Phillies, I think outside of Schwarber is, and Trey Turner to a certain extent, is that you don't have a lot of like gritty guys on this team. Like the guys that will grind it out and find a way to win. You got a lot of guys that have been, and I'll pick on Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is not a gritty guy. When things aren't going well, like, you can see it all over his face. You can see it all over his body language. You can see it now. He's kind of a shadow of himself out there. Mm-hmm. Guys like Schwarber, he'll rally the troops. Trey Turner will rally the troops. I don't think anybody else in that team has that mentality. And I think this is a team that when things start going bad, they just crater.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. I erred on Philly. Yeesh. But Curtis, listen, I don't really want to go back to our preseason predictions and look at those right now, because I'm not even remotely close. And I don't think many people are.
Say at the end of April, I don't like. I mean, I think the only prediction for me that's held up is the Braves. Otherwise, it's and the Dodgers, because we all obviously picked the Dodgers. But a lot of the other picks are not looking great right now.
My Padres pick doesn't look good. My Texas Rangers pick doesn't look good. My Braves pick doesn't look good. Mets Phillies doesn't look good. I just like Red Sox pick doesn't look good. Blue Jays also definitely not good. So holy Hannah. Yeah,
I think
it's a mess.
if this was like an NCAA bracket style thing, I think we'd all be tearing them up right now.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking
bad.
for like my second chance to win. Like I'm already entering my second chance bracket. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Brutal. Rough. Yeah. So
rough,
just again, just like a continuation of that. It's just a weird start to the season.
It is very weird. And and I think you're seeing some of that flush out right now. Cora and Thompson are gone. Those are teams that shouldn't be where they're at. And I think there's gonna be more of this. I think there's other moves coming, other things that need to be dealt with. And I also wouldn't be shocked if you see teams like maybe the Red Sox or the Phillies, if they're still kind of struggling by the middle of the season, they don't start selling pieces and take that as a chance to reset.
Yeah. So who's left on the hot seat? I mean, obviously Mendoza. Your boy in KC, Quatraro, was close, I would say, but he took himself off the hot seat because they had won like 4 or 5 straight. They kind of turned it around a little bit. Who else do you think is kind of on the hot seat, or their ass is on fire?
I mean, so in my mind, for obviously, Red Sox, Phillies, those are done deals. Mendoza is definitely on the hot seat. He has to be on the hot seat. He should have been fired last year. We said it going into the offseason, like, why would you bring this guy back? I think that Hinch is safe, but I think he's going to be a little bit on the hot seat if this team can't start to really put something together.
He's got injuries up there, though. That's there. You can't help injuries.
No, and that's why I look at it. I look at some of these teams and go, it's really, you can't necessarily control it. But I think Hinch is safe, but I think there's going to be a little bit of pressure on him because their window is closing. Scooble's not coming back. And they're gonna, if they can't turn it around, they're gonna trade him at the midpoint and just run this thing into the ground for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But so I think he's safe. Quatraro they love, and I think they realize the shortcomings to that roster that are not his fault. So I think he's probably safe. The only other one I look at is the Astros, and I think they like him, and I think that is so much injury based.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they have poorly performed, but they have dealt with a lot of injuries too. So I don't know how much of that they hold against him. Otherwise, I don't think there's really many on the hot seat. I mean, the Giants are playing like crap, but Vitello's brand new, and they got to give him time to settle in. I don't think anybody else is at a point where you're like, man, like something needs to be done. The Angels, Suzuki's brand new. So I think that's it. I think the only guy that was on the hot seat was Quatraro, but I think the Royals like him enough and they realize that the team has issues that they can't blame on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see the Astros for sure, but like you said, like your starting rotation is no longer there.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, you can't, as a manager, you can't prevent that. That happens. Mike Reed says Mets, Houston, Padres with new owners. Who knows what they could do? I mean, you never know, right? But I think Mendoza is really the only one who is like planted firmly on the hot seat right now, because that Mets team is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, one manager that, if it weren't for the injuries, you could say that maybe Schneider in Toronto would be on the hot seat, but they're so decimated right now that it's not on him. They can barely put together a lineup each day.
Circling back real quick, is Mattingly just the interim or not long term? I think he is technically interim, right?
He's the interim. He said he does not want the full-time gig. He'll do it for now. I think he indicated he'd even finish out the season, but he does not want to be the manager beyond that.
Yeah.
So I think he is there for at least, for as much as this season, and then he's going to want to move on.
Yeah. For sure.
Or go back to his bench coach, because he took the job, A, because the son's there, but B, because he and Thompson are friends. Like he went to work with one of his friends who then just got canned a month into the gig.
Yeah. How do you feel about Wilson in Seattle? What do you think about his status?
I think Wilson's fine. Again, like I think they like him. I think this team is good enough right now. They're not great, but they've played okay. They're still in it, and I think they'll improve. But that's he can't go up there and take the at bats for these guys.
Well, maybe he
It's
should.
I mean, well, there's no argument there. He for sure he would be a better option than half that lineup.
Yeah.
But that is a case of just like pure underperformance.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right. Let's stay with the Phillies for a little bit. Kyle Schwarber records 350th career home run today, last night, whatever. I asked this question to you, Harrison. Is he a guy that will change how we potentially look at the Hall of Fame?
So I think this is a tough one for me because there's a lot of things Kyle Schwarber does well. Great leader, great on base, power. A lot of things he doesn't do well. Contact, getting hits that aren't home runs. He is unique. I feel like because he's so one-dimensional that he's never going to get a real sniff at the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, he's only 33. This could be a guy who's got, could be approaching 450, 500 career home runs. He may get to a point where you can't ignore him. So, yes, I think at some point, if he continues to hit like he has and approaches that 500 number, you may have to, and I say you being like the baseball community, may have to look at this guy as a Hall of Famer, although most of his stat line will say no. I mean, this is a guy who right now in his career, he's a career 20 WAR player.
Yeah.
Because he's so one-dimensional.
What?
But he does it really well.
Just think, he could hit the 500 home run mark in 3 years if he keeps this pace up the last couple of years. Like 3 more years, boom, he's up 500. And if he can get, a few 30 home run seasons on the back half, like we're looking at 560, 570 by the time he careers, possibly. I mean, you can't necessarily ignore that. And his OBP is through the roof. Like, I mean, the lifetime average, I get it. And that's why I'm asking, does this change the way we look at the Hall of Fame? Because we're already gonna have to change it to adapt to the pitchers of this era, right? Like that's already pretty much a done deal. Or we're just not gonna have any inductees into the Hall of Fame at all. Right? I mean, if we keep the same parameters, the same metrics to get these guys into the Hall, these guys are never going to reach those numbers on the pitching side. So where baseball has changed at the plate, right? Lower average, maybe a little bit higher OBP, which is weird, taking a lot more walks, the power. I mean, if Kyle Schwarber is sitting around a 400 OBP and he's got 576 home runs, is that unique enough for writers to be like, I mean, he was one of the best power hitters of his era. He's got to go in.
Well, I think if he gets to 500 home runs, I mean, I feel like you have to put him in at that point. I mean, unless somebody did steroids, you hit 500 home runs, you go in. And I feel like for him, he's got to average. He's signed a 5-year contract?
Yeah, I believe so.
So if he averages 30 home runs a year for the next 5 years, he's at 500.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not out of the realm that he ends up at 500 or 500 plus. Yeah, at that point you're gonna have to look at him differently. I mean, he's a career 230 hitter. He's got a 346 career OBP, which it's come down a little bit, but still, like you're talking a guy. He's got 116 point spread from batting average to OBP. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would be a guy that hits 290 and has a 400 OBP. But for him, it's just contact's always been his issue, but he's always been that way. That's always been his game. It's been a lot of patience, a lot of walks, and then he picks his moment and hits a bomb.
Yeah.
And that's always been his thing.
Yep. Mike Reed says, I think he gets over 475 and has a shot. And even if he's like 475 to 499, it's going to be the debate. 500 gets him in. With that batting average, could be a modern day Edgar in some people's eyes. John Temple says 4 more 40 plus homers. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, 4 more seasons. Just saying it's an all or nothing league now, and he hits a whole lot of all. And that's fair. A highlight says Schwarber went 4 for 4 in the second game today. So that, I mean, that will help.
I mean, and keep in mind too, like Schwarber could become the newest member of the 3000K club too, just on the other side of the ball.
It's crazy.
I mean, this is a guy sitting at 1,567 career strikeouts. He's good for almost 200 a year. I mean, he's going to be probably approaching 3,000 Ks when he retires.
And the record is Jackson, right? 20, I want to say 22 or 2,600, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to make a run at the all-time strikeout record.
That's crazy. Mike Reed says, with average, you have to look at what a guy's average is compared to the average of the league when they played over the actual number. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Reggie's 2597.
2597, so 2,600. Yeah.
I mean, at the pace he's on, Schwarber's there in 5 years. Like easy. Schwarber's the all-time strikeout leader in 5 years, and he'll only be 38. Mm-hmm. He may be around a little bit longer than that. This is a guy that could have, 500 home runs and 3,000 or 2,750 strikeouts.
Yeah, Ryan says it does change how we look at it. It's a much different game now. Schwarber hits 500, he's got to be in, and I would agree. Like 500 is one of those automatic ticket punches to Cooperstown. So I agree.
The only way he gets in is by clearing one of those hurdles.
Yep. Modern day Dave Kingman. Yep. 1,000%. If Schwarber plays against the Giants every game, he'll be a Hall of Famer. And this is another great point, Scott. He's going to have a ton of RBIs too, right? He produces runs. What's more important than that? I mean, fair.
He's got 800 career RBIs. I mean, he's good for 100 a year. There's a real chance he's at 1,200 to 1,300 RBIs with 500 home runs and 2,600 strikeouts.
Yeah. Ryan asked a good question. How does he comp at this point in his career to like a Tommy? I mean, kind of very similar-ish hitter, right? I think Tommy had a better average. He could spray it to all fields, where Schwarber is more of just a drop, and I'm just going to hit it 5,000 feet to right field. But
yeah, I mean, just to give you a sense of where Tommy finished. So Tommy's career batting average was 46 points higher than where Schwarber currently sits. His OBP is at 402. So what is he, 50 plus points better than Schwarber? Tommy obviously had the 600 home runs. I don't think Schwarber can get there. Tommy had 1,699 RBIs. I don't see a path for Schwarber to get there. So Tommy will end up as a significantly better player than Schwarber, but it won't be necessarily by a ton.
But will writers use Tommy as a benchmark? I mean, possibly.
Maybe. I mean, and the hard part too is, Schwarber's a 20 WAR guy in 12 years, averaged 2 WAR a year. Tommy averaged almost 5 WAR a year, 72 WAR when he retired.
Yeah.
I mean, he was significantly better when compared to his peers, and 2,548 strikeouts. So a guy that's up there in the top 3 all time, a guy that certainly K'd plenty, but he drove in a boatload of runs and significantly more than Schwarber.
Yeah. And Michael, this is a great point. We talked about Stanton with this, right? Probably makes 500, but maybe in, maybe out. You could see it either way. So maybe that's the more comparable comp is Giancarlo Stanton. A lot of Ks, a lot of bombs. Yeah. We'll see. Interesting.
That's who he is. I mean, I think somebody in the chat had mentioned, is he a modern day Kingman? He's kind of in the same boat. I think the difference is Schwarber may hit one of those magical numbers that makes this whole thing kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Kingman is he finished at 442 home runs. Like he didn't hit one of those magical thresholds.
Yep. John Carter generates more wind than an oscillating fan. You're not kidding.
Crazy.
This is also a great point, John Temple. Tommy was also surrounded by some serious on base guys and greater teams as well. Yeah, I mean, Tommy always had guys on base in front of him. Schwarber's hitting solo shots, in the first inning because he's batting leadoff.
Well, yeah, that's where the that's where the whole leadoff batter argument kind of hurts him, is that he's lost a lot of RBIs by hitting up at the front. However, he's an on-base machine who unfortunately doesn't score runs like you'd expect a guy at the top of the order to score. Although he's had 4 straight years of 100+ runs. So that's the trade-off, is that when you look at the runs scored, he's gonna dwarf most guys because of where he hits in the lineup.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Jim Thome for his career had 1,583 runs scored. That's one area that Schwarber probably gets pretty close to him in his runs, because he's 818 and he's good for 100-ish a year. So he won't be that far off from Thome, but again, he'll probably fall short of Thome there.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
There's no category where he catches Thome or gets close.
No. But as I said, like, coming back to the question, does it change? Does he potentially change how we look at Hall of Fame credentials?
He may be the first player that hits a ballot where people have to honestly look at it and go, is this what baseball is now? And do we just have to learn to accept that?
Yeah, I agree.
I think he could be that guy.
Yeah, I think we'll have a few before him that we kind of have that question for. John Carlos Stanton being one.
Yeah.
I think he comes up first. So we'll kind of have those questions answered, I guess. But we will see.
I think Stanton is going to be a little bit different because he does have the higher batting average. I mean, not by a ton. He's 256 or 258 career hitter. He's got more RBIs. The home runs he's really close to already. So I think Stanton's going to look a little bit closer to your kind of typical guy, although he might be chasing the strikeout thing depending on how much longer he lasts, because he's over a 2,000 already. But he had some pretty epic peaks. His MVP year in particular, when he went 59. He's had some monster production years.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I think Stanton, I think you're right, is the first guy you're going to have to look at, kind of go, okay, this is different. I think Schwarber is going to punch you right in the face that things are different.
Yep, I agree. All right. Eldemar Vargas for my Serpientes. It's now a 26-game hitting streak. He recorded 2 hits today. 23 games to start the season. Ron LaFleur has the record with 30 straight to start a season. But this guy has completely burst onto the scene for the Diamondbacks, has finally settled into a team, and he is just finding ways to get base hits every game. It makes my Diamondbacks palatable to watch. It's been fun to watch. But this guy's on a tear to start the season, and he's hit some missiles during this time too. Yeah,
I didn't realize how long this guy had been around.
Yeah,
I kept referring to him like he's a kid. He's like 35 years old.
Yeah,
he's been around for 10 years, and I was like, "Where'd this kid come from?" And I looked him up and go, "Wait, what?" I mean, he's been around for a long time. He's done, is this 4 tours of duty in Arizona?
Yeah.
He just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
But a guy who's had tons of injuries, tons of missed time, and is finally, it looks like, getting consistent playing time, and he's an absolute hitting machine. But I was shocked when I saw how old he was and how long he'd been around, because I had no idea who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody knows. He was a career utility player that played every 3rd or 4th day. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for him, but this is a pretty impressive streak to start the season, and it's rolled over from last year. So, pretty dang cool. So, yeah. 26 games.
So, he's a 1.4 player so far this season, which has doubled his career WAR.
Oh, yeah, easy. Awesome.
I mean, a guy that, I mean, his stat line is comical, but absolute hitting machine right now, and he plays everywhere. Like, the guy can play literally about every position they got.
Yep. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, another streak. Nick Kurtz ties Teddy ball game today with a walk in 19 straight games. Is this Ryan says my Diamondbacks? Nick, I'm telling your mom. So is this Nick Kurtz knowledge of the strike zone? Is a little bit of this luck? Is this pitchers not wanting to throw to the dude, or just a little bit of everything?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think he's got incredible plate discipline and strike zone knowledge. I also think pitchers are careful not to just pipe one because they know where it's going to end up. I will say I caught the A's a little bit the last week or two, a little bit more than I had. And, I look at Kurtz's line and I'm like, man, he's not off to a great start. He's getting literally nothing to hit. They're not pitching around him, but they're pitching around him. And I saw him get a base hit on a ball that was probably 3 inches off the plate that I think he swung at more just out of frustration because he had seen nothing in his first 2 at bats to hit, nothing. And I think there's a little bit of him pressing at times because they're not pitching to him. And I think pitchers are like, look, I'll face anybody else in this lineup, but not this kid. I'll take my chances. But here's a guy hitting 233 with a 415 OBP.
Yeah,
I mean, he's basically saying, fine, I won't hit. I'll just keep walking. Somebody else will drive me in. And I think he's finally relaxing to the fact that okay, if they're not going to pitch to me, then I got to take my base.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're watching him kind of adapt in real time, but he's literally getting nothing to hit.
No, I mean, think about it. You got Shea Langoliers and Jacob Wilson at the top of that lineup. They lead the league. They're tied. Well, going into today, they were tied for the league lead of most multi-hit games. They both had 14 multi-hit games already, right? Those two are on base, right, all the time. So you're not going to give Nick Kurtz anything, right? Langoliers either leaves the yard or hits a gap shot. Jacob Wilson drives him in. There's always traffic in front of Nick Kurtz. You're not going to have him hurt you too. So I get pitching around him. The top 3 in that A's lineup is incredible to watch. And then Rooker's back now. I love watching the A's. I find myself tuning into them every night. Severino finally had a good start at home last night for them. So they're fun to watch, and don't look now, but they're in first place. So love that. Love that.
And I feel like you're seeing the young guys who started off the first couple weeks really flailing and struggling. I think you're finally seeing them settle in and understanding that it's not going to be the same as last year, and I've got to be okay with that. I need to take what they give me and not try to do too much, which is why you're seeing Kurtz take a boatload of walks now. You're seeing a lot of these guys adjust their approach and just accept it for what it is. And that's why I think you've seen this team kind of turn the corner and things pick back up, because they've stopped trying to do too much and they're just taking what's given to them. And for Kurtz, that means a boatload of walks.
Yeah.
But that also means tons of RBI opportunities for the guys behind him.
Yeah. Like I said, been tuning in, and I've been watching the post-game conferences with Kotze. And even they had a tough loss to the Royals the other night. Bobby Witt hits a 3-run shot in the top of the 10th to kind of, take it from him there.
That was a missile.
And Mark Kotze was calm, collected, and he's like, listen, I'm not worried about my guys. That stuff in baseball happens all the time, right? It was just a mistake pitch to a great hitter. He's going to do what he's going to do. That's baseball. He's like, our game plan is working. We're good. They are the best defense in the league. I think Jacob Wilson's up to 70 errorless games. So, I mean, it's unreal. Yeah, it's unreal. I am excited for this team to get to Vegas and actually build a pitching staff. They have some promising arms in there in the bullpen that will develop more. But I'm excited for them to get out of that AAA ballpark for sure, because it's, like I said, it's a coin flip every time they play. But
yeah, it's a struggle. And I think this offense, as these guys really start to settle in and accept what they're going to get, I think you'll see this offense their gear here soon, and you'll start to see those big numbers go on the board again. But they've done a good job getting to this point.
Comment of the night so far. The big Amish sure knows about walking. Cars aren't really their thing.
Don't underestimate the horse-drawn wagon. Like, that's a thing, man. Those are cool.
Yeah.
And those horses can move.
For sure. But yeah, pretty cool streak out of him. Travis Bazan for the Guardians finally called up. Seems like we've been asking for this kid for the last 2 years, but he was like 0 for 2 with a walk, I think, in his debut, if I remember correctly. But again, this Guardians team, where are they going? I never know what to say about them necessarily.
They're doing what they always do. They make you wonder what's going on, and then all of a sudden they finish at the top of the standings in the Central. I mean, they're sitting there right now. They're only a 500 team, tied with the Tigers at the top. Again, they play good baseball, which is hard to lose a lot of games that way. And I had to laugh. Travis Bazan is first at bat. I sent you a message. I'm like, his walk-up song is "Land Down Under" by Men at Work. Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah,
I heard the song. I just started laughing. I'm like, that's so perfect. But again, like, here's the Guardians. This young stud is just like hanging out in the minors, going to pop up, help them. It's I think the Guardians are going to be who they are. They're going to hang around the top of the Central, fight for it, and drive us all crazy because somehow they always end up in contention.
Yeah,
they're the American League Brewers. The team you think they're out of it. Like that somebody goes or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is finally the year they don't compete. And then it's like, oh nope, there they are again.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get into them, Harrison. Crochet hits the IL with shoulder inflammation, aka whiplash from his last few starts. Any shot for the Red Sox to compete this year?
I mean, no. I don't see this as a playoff team. They got so much work to do, and they got teams ahead of them that are playing so much better. But I will say this was my biggest fear for the Red Sox coming into the year was Crochet. And he's not known as a super durable guy. I've been waiting for the injury to catch him. And I think this is, shoulder inflammation. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, like doesn't sound too bad, but inflammation is always a sign of something else. So it's like, it's okay. So it's shoulder inflammation now. He'll come back. Then what is it? Like, this is one of those like moments where you start to kind of slide and then it just keeps going. And then it becomes something bigger.
Yeah. For me, I don't know if this is necessarily an injury. For me, this might be just like, we're going to give him, we're going to miss a start or two and maybe just kind of reset him. I mean, I don't know the details on it. Maybe it actually is, but he has not been right the last 2 or 3 starts. So maybe it is Red Sox just being like, hey, there's tons of season left. Let's just kind of give you some rest a little bit and reset you. Right. That could be it. One of those phantom injuries, if you will. Right. Because shoulder inflammation is very vague. Like, it could just be, you're tired. Let's get you some rest and reset you. That's where I kind of see this one is.
Yeah. When they talked to him, he said, he was feeling fatigue in his shoulder the start before, just didn't feel quite right. And thought it made sense to get ahead of it now and take a break before it became something more. Yeah. That's great. But shoulder fatigue in the middle of April, it's like, dude, yes, you've looked terrible. The velocity's down. The command is gone. Sure, let's give you a break and see if you can reboot. But at the same time, like, let's also be realistic with the fact that shoulder fatigue after 4 starts is not a good sign.
Not
not great.
Not great.
Not great to be tired.
Yeah, John Temple says, not good, boys. Listen, it can get worse, but it's been pretty wretched the first month of the season for the Red Sox. Not a lot of great things to talk about. I think the one bright spot is Wilson Contreras.
Yep.
That's literally it. I can't point to anything else where I can say, yeah, the Red Sox are playing well in this facet of the game. It's Wilson Contreras and no one else.
Yeah, he's it.
Man, brutal.
But again, this has been my biggest fear for the Red Sox is that I felt like something was going to happen with Crochet. He pitched a lot last year. He set a personal innings record. He threw a lot of pitches last year. And you do wonder, like, how does a guy bounce back from that who doesn't necessarily have the best track record? And here we are, April 30th, with some bomb starts and needing a break, which does not bode well for the rest of the year.
No. Mike Reed says the AL is weak. As long as it's just a short stint, he should be fine.
Let's hope.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not convinced that this is the last IL stint for Crochet this year.
Yeah, that's terrible. I hate that we say that, but you're probably right. Joseph Gray, honestly, I get shoulder inflammation after every 18 holes. Yeah, at the mini golf course.
Well, that's Joseph. It's because those 12-ounce curls start to add up as you get towards the back nine.
Yeah, they say they get lighter, but they don't. It's true.
They go way heavier.
Yeah, Ryan. Boston hasn't been in flames this bad since the last Tea Party. Yeah, it's
have you missed the last 5 years?
Apparently.
I mean, man, oh man, the Red Sox were god awful in 23 and 24. Those teams were like I couldn't watch those teams.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a little glimmer of hope because when Tracy came on, they played a decent that first weekend he was there in the seat. So, I mean, maybe. I mean, and like I said last show, I believe Tracy knows these guys. Yeah. Minus the veterans on the team, obviously. He brought up Anthony, Rafaela, Duran, all those guys. So he's coached these guys before. He knows them. He has a relationship with them. So that's possibly a plus for the Red Sox in a season that has been pretty much all negative. So,
yeah, not a lot of headlines, certainly, or highlights either. Just not great.
Yeah. Ed says not holding out any hope. They can't hit. The infield defense is bad. The bullpen is suspect. Why would they be any good? And Ed, it's for me. I mean, the bullpen's always been suspect. Ever since I've been a Red Sox fan, I can count on one finger how many years we've had a good bullpen, right? I mean, the infield defense to me is inexcusable. Inexcusable. Bad. Other than Caleb Durbin, who's putting together himself pretty good defensive season, everywhere else is terrible. I think Caleb Durbin was like first in defensive WAR for third baseman, I think, a couple games ago. Like, he's playing a great third base. But is Story out of position now? Myers out of position. The outfield seems slow. Like, I don't get what's going on there. And you have Alex Cora as a defensive specialist pretty much his entire career, and they haven't improved on the defensive side of the ball. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't. The defensive has always driven me insane. How a team can be that bad defensively. I mean, they're the second worst defense in baseball right now.
God, who's worse?
The Blue Jays. Oh,
well. I mean, they're all literally on one leg out there, so that's not saying much.
No. It's so frustrating to watch these guys play such bad defense and then just do it over and over and over again. Like, does nobody take any pride in their defense anymore? Like, I remember there was a day where you'd see a guy like an Alex Rodriguez would make an error. He would be bullshit at himself for a while. And then the next day, where was he? Out there taking extra ground balls early in the morning. Guys just don't do that anymore. They just don't care. Like, nobody cares about defense in this game anymore. And gone are the days of you have a bad day, you go out there and you take extra ground balls. Like, these guys just don't do that anymore.
No.
They just don't care. They'd rather go get more swings.
Right. Because that's where the game's headed. It's an offensive game. But
brutal.
Yeah. So do you think there's any shot for the Red Sox to turn this around?
I think they'll get better. I don't think this is a playoff team. I think that I think that the Sonny Gray injury obviously is a problem. I think Garrett Crochet is going to be off and on this year. The bullpen we know is not going to be good. The offense will get better, but I just don't know if they can out-hit the pitching. This was supposed to be a run prevention oriented team with great starting pitching. They've not gotten great starting pitching. Suarez has been okay. Crochet has been bad. Sonny Gray was coming around, then he got hurt. Brian Bayo, I'm done with Brian Bayo. That guy belongs in Worcester. They should send him back to Worcester. Signing him to that contract is turning out to be a huge mistake. He's terrible. The pitching has not turned out to be what you hoped it would be, and your offense isn't good enough to out-hit that. So no, I think this is a team that's going to finish, probably 4th or 5th in the division again, because they are a mess.
Yeah. John Carter. So you're saying they are the Red Sox because there's no D?
There hasn't been any D in Boston for a while.
Oh, God, man, it's brutal. It's really, really stinking bad. So whatever. There's always other teams we can watch.
Michael Worcester doesn't want him. No thanks.
Oh, man. Well, so this is the second time this year we're going to bring up the New Hampshire Fisher Cats because they had a crazy no-hitter the other night, 10 walks, and they still get a no-hitter. Minor League Baseball. They were also involved with that game with the Portland Sea Dogs where they only had 1 hit and scored 10 runs. So this is the second time the Fisher Cats has made like some weird type of history this season. But if this isn't minor league baseball in a nutshell, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Well, did you see the Portland Sea Dogs?
No. What did they do?
The Portland Sea Dogs 4 nights ago threw a combined no-hitter and won the game 3-2. And it was the same starting pitcher. It was in that game where they walked 12 bazillion guys, Hayden Mullins. They had 3 guys combined to pitch a no-hitter, and they still gave up 2 runs to the Yard Goats.
Typical Red Sox right there.
But like at the same time, think about it. Is this what's coming to Major League Baseball next? Like, is this the state of pitching in the minor leagues?
I mean, maybe this is Double-A, right? I mean, these guys still have a lot of fine tuning to do at this level, but it makes you wonder. I mean, it's a fair question.
I mean, we've seen so many minor league games this year where it's been a bazillion walks, tons of runs, a no-hitter where you still give up 2 runs. Like, there's been so much of that stuff throughout the minor leagues this year. It makes me kind of go, is that the state of pitching? Like, this is just what we're going to accept as guys that come in and, you can't hit them, but they walk a bunch of guys.
Yeah. Well, it's not pitching anymore. It's throwing. Like, I just have throwers. I just have throwers on my roster. That's it.
Fair.
Yeah. Mike Reed. I still don't understand how you get a no-hitter and give up runs. Yeah. What was it? A couple of years ago, the Reds won 1-0 and they got no hit. I think it was against the Pirates. I think the Pirates threw the no-hitter and lost the game. Like, it happens. That's the anomaly of baseball. But yeah, it's like a walk, a 2-base error, and then an RBI ground out, I think is how they scored the run. But so crappy defenses organization wide. Yeah, that sounds it.
And it's perfect because the 2 runs that the Sea Dogs gave up were on 2 walks, and then a dribbler up the line that went under the first baseman's glove on the backhand and up the line, and the 2 guys came in to score. Like, not even a ball that was hit hard, just like bobbing along, gets past him, and 2 guys come in to score on 2 walks.
Brutal.
Just ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, Randy Johnson's first no-hitter with the Mariners had 6 or 7 walks. Yeah. Ugly no-no, but a no-no nonetheless. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, walk, wild pitch, 2 sac flies, 1-0. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of different ways they can score without a hit, but just crazy. Minor league baseball at its finest. Gotta love it. All right. Here we go. We got some really out of left field discussion topics. I really think you guys are going to like this first one, and I'm going to make it kind of an ongoing segment. And I'm going to give you this disclaimer to start. I'm going to name it the Innuendo Report. And it's a warning, disturbing content. Viewer discretion is advised. And you will see, because the first guy we're going to talk about is Johnny Dickshot. So I am going to run down through all the guys that have now inappropriate names, and we're going to talk about their careers a little bit. So Johnny Dickshot played for 10 years, 6 years. He was kind of up and down, but he had like a gap in between. Probably, I think it was war, military service in there. 276 career average, 273 hits, 7 home runs, 116 RBIs. 23 stolen bases, and had time with the Pirates, Giants, and White Sox. I would really love to get the baseball history dork or nostalgic baseball geezer on these guys to really, take it up a notch. Because again, like, I don't know too much about these guys personally, but I got to highlight the names because it's absolutely incredible. But yeah, from 39 to 44, or so 40 to 43, he didn't play at all. So that's why the years are a little bit different, but
oh my goodness. Yeah, he was in the minors that whole time. He actually won the International League batting championship with the 355 average in 1939 and had 16 triples.
Yeah.
The dude was lighting up the minor leagues but couldn't get a call back up. It's funny.
Yeah.
What a name. Holy cow. Can you imagine growing up with that name?
Yeah, right. There's another one. Michael, I have him on my list. Pete Lecoq. Yeah, hit the grand slam off Bob Gibson. Got plunked in an old timers game by Gibson, for sure. Oh yeah, here we go. I can come on and just do a straight reading of a post I did on him. All right, let's go, Forrest. I'm all over.
We'll send you the link. Jump on.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I saw this the other day, 2 highlights. This was crazy. There are 2 players in the history of baseball with a first name Emerson. They are Emerson Dickman and Emerson Hancock. That's absolutely insane. Right? Crazy.
Oh, Mike Reed.
Yeah, just couldn't get up those years. See, I knew you guys wouldn't disappoint. Here we go. And yeah, Ryan, you're going to get suspinous from the YouTube and Facebook. Yep. This is why I did it. You guys always, Dickshot always be rising and falling. Sounds like he bounced back quickly though.
Oh man.
But yeah. Yeah, that clip with was it Johnson replaces hand to pitch to Mastrobuoni will always be one of the best announcer clips of all time.
I'm not sure how they did not like completely fall apart while they were doing it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But yeah, not really a discussion topic, but thought I would bring it up because I knew the comment section wouldn't disappoint. So thank you, fellas. Wow. John Temple, hang on to that because he probably will be on this as well. So, all right, to completely switch gears, Harrison, who is on the Mount Rushmore of current players? So I have Ohtani, Judge, Skeens, and Skubal. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of current players?
So is it based on performance right now or just like kind of active guys where they stand?
Yeah, active guys where they stand. Like, how do you view the top 4 players in the league, I guess?
Okay. So obviously Ohtani and Judge have to be on there. Like, that's not up for debate. One guy that I would say probably should be on there is Mike Trout, given his kind of stature in the game. The dude is, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. He's had such a great career, even with the fall off, that I feel like he has to be up on that list. Man, like I'd love to put, Scubal's a good one. See if I can find some that are different.
I mean, would you put Paul Skeens up there right now?
So I think based on like current performance, then yeah, I think the four best active players, like in terms of how they're playing, like skill wise today, it's probably those four. I could argue that you could nitpick and say maybe Skeens isn't quite deserving
There,
of that
yeah.
spot just yet, but to me, like when I think of like the four best players right now, that if we're gonna start a draft, would be my first picks. It's probably those four guys.
Now, this might be a little polarizing, but does Jose Altuve get a deserve maybe some conversation to go up here?
Well, and
That
that's where
guy's put together quite the career, and he's still active.
well, yeah, that's why I kind of asked the question of, I think there's two ways to approach this. There's like who's in the Mount Rushmore of current players in terms of like what they've done in their career, and then who's in the Mount Rushmore of current players in terms of like who would you start a franchise around right now. I think the four you have are probably the guys you would pick to start a franchise around. I think when you look around the game, Ohtani and Judge obviously have some serious credentials. I think Altuve needs to get consideration. I would say J-Ram needs to get some consideration. I think a guy like Kenley Jansen needs to get some consideration. A guy who is probably, or I should say, a guy who should be a first or second ballot Hall of Famer. He needs to get a little consideration for kind of the career he's had. I would say,
Verlander, this is a good one,
I'll
right?
say if we consider Verlander to still be active, then Verlander. Verlander and Scherzer are certainly in that conversation in terms of what they've done in their careers. I would also say, you could look at guys like Max Fried and Logan Webb, who have had really good careers to this point. They're not done. Still got a lot of runway there. But they've had incredible careers.
Would you talk about Bobby Witt, or still not enough ammo in the,
I think
still not enough?
To me, Bobby Witt is one of those guys he's probably not in the top 4, but he's in the top 10. I love Bobby Witt, and I do think he belongs. He is in that kind of top tier of guys current, but probably not there yet. Certainly a guy that if there was a 5th pick in this draft, he would probably be the guy that goes there in terms of like starting a team around.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of guys agree with you in the chat here, like Scherzer, J-Ram, Trout, like where's Trout? John Temple says Witt, Julio, Judge, Scooble. If you're starting a team today. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's two very different perspectives to this. There's the who is the best player that you would start a team around right now. Also, who are the guys that have had the greatest careers to this point? You could argue Stanton. Stanton should get some consideration too. We just talked about him being a polarizing Hall of Fame figure, but he's a guy that is likely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Assuming he can cross the 500 threshold, which it seems like he'll be able to do. Schwarber could be in that conversation. Is he a guy that needs to get consideration for the career that he's had?
Brian, zero Acuna talk is wild.
Yeah.
I love Ronald Acuna, but for me, what kind of keeps him out of this is those 2 major knee injuries. Like, what kind of player is he without those knee injuries, right? Then we're talking serious Mount Rushmore status, I think, for Ronald Acuna. He's that good. I get it. But yeah, and we're with you, Ryan. It's wild that he's forgettable right now, but I think it's because of those 2 major knee injuries that he kind of gets overlooked.
Well, he does, and you look at, and he's not off to a great start this year. He's one of those guys. I think that you saw him play 49 games in 2024, 95 and 25. He's off to a good start this year. Statistically not great, but he's playing. Obviously the monster 23. But over the last 3 years, I feel like he's kind of faded. And it's because he hasn't been on the field.
Yeah.
Another guy that we need to think about in terms of career progression too is Chris Sale. Chris Sale's another guy you'd have to mention, because that he's also likely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Jazz Chisholm thinks Jazz Chisholm is kind of awesome.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm doesn't know the difference is the problem.
Starting pitcher Nick Arno over Skeens. Yeah. I'd take him for sure.
I'd rather face Arno than Skeens for sure.
Yeah, easy money for you, Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think that if you look at like who are the 4 best players in baseball that you're going to start a team around today, I think those are the 4. I would say guys like Bobby Witt Jr., maybe Junior Caminero. Those are the guys that are kind of sitting in that next group behind these guys, but those are your 4.
Speaking of Junior Caminero, do you see him foul the ball off his face the other day?
Yeah, that looked rough.
Yeah,
Like right up in the right jaw. That was a hell of a weird bounce on the ball he hit.
God, man. Yeah, nuts. But
he said he was okay. He felt like getting punched, but that still must have been quite the sensation to take that thing back in the face.
Yeah, well, I would have taken Tim Anderson's head off, so it's a good thing it was him and not Tim Anderson. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I will say, like in that second tier of guys that maybe aren't on the Mount Rushmore, for sure Bobby Witt, for sure Junior Caminero, your boy Corbin Carroll's probably on that list. Julio's a good one. Some people would probably put Soto in that bracket. I'm just not a massive Juan Soto guy, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Vladdy Jr.
Can we just pause for a minute? You just pulled a Nick and you said Mount Rushmore.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I love it. I'm rubbing off on you. That's good. I love it.
Nice. Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. But I agree. Juan Soto is, I think he's close, right?
I mean, he has to be in that. I think Soto is just one of those guys who's a little bit of a polarizing figure, whether he means to be or not, and just rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Whereas, like, who doesn't love those 4 guys? Ohtani, Judge, Skeen, Skubal. Like, good luck finding people around baseball like, oh, that guy's a jerk.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. Next question I got for you in the chat. Are what if players more fascinating to talk about than Hall of Famers? And I got the idea for this question because of our interview with Veda Pinson III and, really kind of diving into his dad's career and, what kind of player he was, right? Again, like kind of before our time, didn't know much about him until we really got the chance to dive in. And he was a hell of a player. And is it more fascinating to talk about those guys than a Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron, where we've heard all the stories a million times? Like, what is it for you?
Yes, for all the things you just said. I love the what ifs because you can always talk about like, what if they did this? What if they did that? What if they're around for this? Then you also get into like, remember the time, and you start to get into all the cool moments. And then it's also like you think back to all the missed time and reasons for it. And I think the Hall of Famers, the stories, the stat lines. It's it's one of those things where like, yeah, we've talked about Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth a million times, but like we've never talked about Veda Pinson on the show.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun to hear the stories and go down the rabbit hole of his career and the stats and some of the stuff that makes you go, holy crap. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I think to me that as a baseball fan, like I really enjoy those rabbit holes of let's go learn about a player we don't know about versus let's talk about the same guy for the 27 millionth time, which is part of the Ohtani fatigue that I have. Like I think Shohei Ohtani is one of the greatest baseball players we'll probably ever see in our lifetime. I'm so tired of talking about him.
Yeah.
Because MLB.com and the MLB Facebook page and the MLB network and the MLB app and ESPN just jam him down your throat 24/7, 365. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. Like I want to go talk about something else. Let's talk about, the guys that are doing things that nobody seems to pay attention to. Yeah. Let's talk about the guys that, let's talk about guys like Vargas with the hitting streaks. I don't see that anywhere in the headlines anywhere at all.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Mike Reed, we're going to talk about Ohtani.
Well, yeah. Mike Reed says, I say yes because it's fun to debate stuff. And that's fair, right? John Carter, what about those that are in but maybe shouldn't be? Cough, Baines. I mean, we have brought him up quite a bit on this show. But, Yeah, I mean that. I mean, to me, that's that falls almost in that what if category. Like, what if Baines didn't get in? Are we upset about it? I don't know if we are, but here we are. Forrest says, Baseball History Dork says, what's really fascinating is the stories of guys who really did great things, but still aren't talked about as much as a Hall of Famer. Guys like Harrison just said, Vada Pinson. Yeah, 1,000%. Joseph, what if questions seem to be great rage bait too?
They really are.
Rabbit holes are the best. Yeah, 1,000%. My favorite players for some reason have always been the fringe Hall of Famers, Edmonds, Dave Parker, those kinds of guys. And yeah, because it's fun to dissect their careers and be like, oh man, like what if they didn't get hurt in this last half of the season when they were on pace to possibly challenge the home run record or the batting title or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I think there's more to talk about with the what ifs because they aren't talked about. Like we both said, like I'm not diminishing what Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, all those guys did, but we talk about it at nauseum. I'm not saying we necessarily, but as a baseball community, baseball whole, everybody talks about those guys. And for us, like that's why I love our trivia questions because we tend to we try to pick guys that are like the obvious ones. You know, I had the trivia question about Paul Molitor and Johnny Damon the other day, right? Everybody's trying to guess the big names. Oh, it's Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays. Nope, try again. Yep. Like not even close, right? Guys that aren't mentioned a lot in the baseball community and should, right? Because they have done great things in their career.
Yeah, and I think there's psychologically, everybody loves an underdog. Like we love to see the guy that's out there working harder than everybody else trying to make things happen, and you tend to focus on those guys, but also you tend to remember those guys that were important to you in some way. So I think about guys like Trot Nixon. Like I could recite probably Trot Nixon's entire career better than I could give you Ken Griffey Jr.'s. But it's because he was playing at an important time when I was watching baseball a lot. The Red Sox were turning the corner, and like that was a big time for me. So like I remember him vividly.
Yeah.
More so than some of the superstars. So I think we just tend to gravitate towards certain players that are there at a certain time that have a certain impact on us. And they're not necessarily the biggest names. Like they're the guys that you like because they came up with the big hits when it mattered. They made the big plays. They were the grinders. I think of a guy like, Kevin Millar. I think of Kevin Millar often as a guy who like he took a team that was dead and buried and dragged them back into contention in that 2004 ALCS.
Yeah.
Did he make some massive contribution in that series? Yeah, he had some moments. But the biggest thing I remember about him was the way he rallied the team. Mm-hmm. Like Kevin Millar's stats are not anything exciting. He probably falls in the what if category for a variety of reasons, but he was a really important player in a really important time.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, the casuals talk about those guys. We obviously want to dig deeper. That's why we're here. Yeah. Agree. And that's kind of a cool compliment, whether you're meant to compliment us or not, but I'm taking it as a compliment. But that's why we have this platform, right? We love to dig into those stories and talk about those guys. So the don't let us win tonight. Absolutely. David Freese guy, that's a great one, right? And in the grand scheme of things and what that guy did for the Cardinals in that World Series, no one talks about David Freese as much as they should.
No, it's true.
I mean, it is true. Yikes. I mean, all those guys, Valentin, Nixon, Bellhorn. I love those Sox guys like them, that dirt dog mentality. Sure. But
yeah, like I look around the league and there were so many other guys I used to love watching play, guys like Ray Durham, that didn't get tons of attention. I guess one of my favorite guys of all time was Jay Buhner. I used to love watching Jay Buhner play.
Yeah, and it kind of goes to the point that my mom says, right? A lot of them had great stats, but played with big names. It's good to see what they really did, right? Like, so a guy like you just said, Harrison, like Jay Buhner is kind of overshadowed by Griffey and Edgar Martinez.
But like without those guys, Griffey probably isn't Griffey.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing, like these superstars, a big part of being a superstar, yes, is talent, but also it's having a supporting cast. Yeah. we've talked about this for years with guys. Like, well, if he only was on a good team, if he only had guys around him, yeah, that's a real thing. Look at
Right.
Paul Skeens. He goes 10-10 last year, the best stuff we've probably ever seen. But he had nobody around him. Like, that's a big part of being a superstar. You put Paul Skeens on the Yankees or the Dodgers, God forbid, probably wins 25 games last year.
Dude, he's 33-0. There's no doubt. With a sub 2 ERA, dude, he's 33-0.
Right. Like,
no doubt in my
a
mind.
big part of being a superstar is having that supporting cast.
Yeah.
Because again, like, one guy can't do it by himself.
This is a fantastic question, John, and I don't know the answer to this, but is Kevin Millar the greatest glue guy or grinder teammate ever?
1,000,000% yes. He has to be, right? I mean, who else could fit that role?
I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, for us, obviously we're biased. It's a yes for us, but like trying to look at it from a non-biased lens, I don't know. I can't really think of anybody else off the top of my head at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's been glue guys, obviously.
Johnny Gomes.
Yeah, he was another good one. He's another good one. Gomes was a good one. I mean, like, I think back, there were so many of those teams where, I look at like Rizzo's role with the Cubs, and he was such a glue guy. But he also produced, like, he wasn't just a glue guy.
Right.
I mean, you think about Freddie Freeman was the glue guy in Atlanta for so many years, and really that team hasn't been the same since he left.
Right.
I think there's definitely a hole there. But yeah, I mean, when you think of glue guys, boy, it's hard to say Kevin Millar is not in that, on the Mount Rushmore of glue guys.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike says, hell, the show mascot's Jamie Moyer.
I mean, there you go.
True. Yeah. Baseball History Door says, I remember thinking Marty Cordova was going to Cooperstown after his rookie season. Yeah. After his rookie season, we were right. John Carter kind of backs him up to that. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many. Mark McLemore, great one. Doug Mientkiewicz was that guy for the Twins. Then he comes over to the Sox in 2004, like huge. David Ross for the Cubs. That's a great one.
That's a great one. Ross was a great glue guy.
Mark Lemke, 7th grade science teacher before the beard. He looked like a 7th grade student. Yeah, that Michael Simpson said that back for Mark Lemke is his glue guy there. So, but yeah, I'm with everybody. It's the what ifs for me. Obviously, we love talking about Hall of Famers and how incredible these guys were, but I mean, all these guys, every player has gotten to the show, and they all have a story, and that's been the coolest thing with our interviews that I've loved is hearing how vastly different everyone's journey was. I mean, we're talking about Shumpert growing up in Kentucky, playing with Steve Finley, and kind of going up through that way. We talked about Skeeter Barnes walks on to the University of Cincinnati and then gets drafted, right? Steve Traxel was found in Alaska. Like, what?
In one of those, it was a 24-hour tournament thing where, like, they're playing in the middle of the night.
Like, it just, everybody's story is so vastly different, and that's what makes it so cool. But
Traxel had to go to Alaska from California to get found.
Yeah.
It's like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Rogers goes out of Maine, comes down to Wilmington, and then everyone was like, oh, crap, who is this kid? Right? Like, I mean, it's crazy. Everyone's path is so different. I think that's been the coolest thing for me is to find out, like, how did you get to the show? Tell me that story. Like, we all can see what you did in the show, right? You were on the big stage. How did you get there? Because everyone's vastly different. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
It's Tommy Pham, hands down. Fight him.
I mean, he's such a good teammate and glue guy that he goes everywhere. Every team wants him.
Yep. It's facts. All right. For our last one before we get to trivia, Harrison, this is kind of trivia-esque. So what we're going to do is I'm going to spin a wheel. It's going to land on a team, and Harrison and I are going to take turns to try to name as many players as we can for that team without repeating or being wrong on one. So you guys in the chat obviously can play along, but we are about to spin the wheel here.
I hope my brain doesn't melt on one of these.
Oh, it's gonna. So here we go. We're gonna spin it, and let's see what we come up with. Oh, Chicago White Sox tonight, Harrison.
Why?
All right.
Oh my goodness. I can't even name anyone on the active roster, so I'm already in trouble.
All right. I will let you start. It can be any White Sox in history.
Oh, Murakami.
Oh, good one. I'm Frank Thomas.
Oh, Frank Thomas is a good one. Ray Durham, since I brought him up earlier.
Robin Ventura.
We'll go Carlos Quentin.
Jose Abreu.
Scott Posednik.
Joe Creedy.
Damn, I should have known you were going to go down that path. AJ Pierzynski. I couldn't think of his name for a minute.
Bo Jackson.
Oh, I forgot about Bo Jackson with the White Sox. All right. I wish I could think of a pitcher. Shane Smith.
Oh, good one. Lance Johnson.
Oh, good one. Bobby Jenks.
Ozzie Guillen.
Oh, Ozzie's such an obvious one. Oh man. You already said Joe Creedy, so boy, this is actually harder than I thought it would be.
There's some good ones in the chat. Mark Burley.
I'm trying so hard not to look. Because it's like they're right there and I could easily just grab one. Oh, this is terrible. Because now I'm like, okay, we already said him. The hard part is keeping track of who we already said.
Yeah, I know. I got a couple in my head.
Yeah. Oh God. Eddie Seacott. We'll go way back to the Black Sox.
Whoa. All right. Throwing me off here. Tim Raines.
Oh, Tim Raines is a good one. Ryan took mine. I blanked on his name a minute ago. Dwayne Wise because of the catch for Burley.
Yeah. Joey Cora.
Oh, you're right. Cora. Did Alex Cora play there? Didn't he play there too?
Probably at some point.
I'm sure he did. Harold Baines.
Yeah. Ron Karkovice.
Damn, Ron Karkovice is a good one. Man, I might be out here. Hang on.
Oh, come on. You're good.
The White Sox, though, like there's nothing to watch with the White Sox. Esteban Loaiza.
Oh, good one. Jack McDowell.
Blackjack's a good one. Colson Montgomery.
Jason Beret.
Oh man, you're going way back on some of these players too. Like
that's not way back.
Deep pulls. No, like deep pulls.
Yeah.
Kyle Teal.
You're going like recent.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm trying not to look at the chat.
I know, I'm trying. I've actually like closed the chat out so I can't see it.
Oh, that's a good one. Minnie Minoso.
Oh man, that's a good one. I can picture a bunch of guys, but I can't put names.
Man, chat is lighting up. This is incredible.
Yeah, I might be out. I got nothing.
I got Nelly Fox. I got
Nelly Fox, a good one.
Luis Aparicio. Yeah. Well, let's go through the chat here.
We could throw like Shoeless Joe and a bunch of other guys in there.
Absolutely.
I'm sure chat's already covered those guys.
Yeah. So we got Jermaine Dye.
Oh, Jermaine Dye, yeah.
Highlights has got a bunch.
Carlton Fisk? How did that come up with Fisk?
That's a good one. So highlights: Jorge Orta, Wilbur Wood, Ken Anderson, Bill Melton, Joe Horland, Gary Peters, Aparicio, Fox, Reichart, Karkovice, Harold Baines, Ron Kittle.
I said Harold Baines.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was grasping for somebody to use Baines.
Albert Bell, Konerko was said. Tim Anderson, Scott Fletcher. Yeah. I said Lance Johnson, James Shields, Soderholm, Patrick, Burns, Brohammer, Kelly, Fisk, Yeah, Guillermo said Seaver, Dick Allen. Oh, Danny Darwin and
Oh,
Scott
yeah.
Sanderson. Great ones.
Yep.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa, another great one. Lance Lynn, Billy Hamilton, forgot he played there. Hoyt
Oh,
Wilhelm.
yeah. Oh,
Jenks
Hoyt
was,
Wilhelm, duh.
yeah, that was said one. Camilo Carrion, Ken Berry. Yeah, and then Harrison said Bobby Jenks. But yeah, that was
R.I.P.
fun. I love that.
We should
I love
spin
that
it again, do
really
another
fun.
one.
You want to do another one?
Let's do one more. We're going to do
All
one
right.
more.
All right.
Hell, we should let
Here.
chat do it. I mean, my God.
All right, we can do that. Let me share the wheel here so you know I'm not cheating. You know. So oh yeah, Griffey Jr., another one. Duh. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Lucas Giolito, Jim Thome.
I should have just guessed Tomey because it was AL Central.
AJ Przinsky.
I said Przinsky.
Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, good Lord. With like no history, too.
Tampa Bay Rays. Let's
It's a good
go.
thing chat's doing this one. Good. We'll let them run with it.
All right, Tampa Bay Rays. Let's knock off the obvious ones. Who are the obvious ones for you, Harrison?
I mean, obvious. So for me, it's guys like, I think of guys like Chris Archer. I think of guys like Aubrey Huff, obviously Junior Caminero currently, McGriff, Boggs.
Yep. So Mike Reed, Greg Vaughn, Jose Canseco. For me, it's Evan Longoria, Carl Crawford, Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah.
So we got Vaughn, Canseco, Boggs. Yep. Longo for sure.
Kiermaier. You said is like an icon.
Carlos Pena, Ben Zobrist.
Pena's a good one. Yeah, Zobrist is a good one. Bartlett.
Scott's I don't want to play.
I don't want to play. This is actually, when you're sitting there trying to come up with a name, it is a little bit harder than it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. Vaughn, Crawford, Pena, Zobrist for sure. Yep. Said those. David Price. Scott, that makes me go down that rabbit hole. Scott Kazmir, Shane McClanahan, Kazmir, Rich Hill, Longo, Canseco, Pena, Crawford, Archer, Price, Yandy Diaz. Ooh, Fairbanks, great one.
Yeah.
Highlights coming through. Stalker, McGriff, Rolando Arroyo. Bubba Trammell, Mike Defo. Oh, yeah. Mike DeFelice and Mike Kelly. Jason Bartlett, great pull there. John Carter. Rosarina, Boggs, Price, Zobrist. Michael Waka. Forgot he was there. I mean, he's pitched everywhere. Willie Adames. That's right. Forget he started in Tampa. Corey Kluber.
And then he who shall not be named. We know exactly who that is.
Yeah. Miguel Cairo. That's another great one, John. Man. Some good
Scott Kazmir, I swear to God, like he just owned the Red Sox.
Oh, the spitter, Matt Garza.
Oh, Garza, he always had the thing on the little hair thing on his lip that was so terrible.
Yeah. Quentin McCracken, Delman Young. Man, you guys aren't disappointing. Love it.
Delman Young.
Yeah. Dang.
Who was the kid a few years ago that was supposed to be like the big can't miss prospect that came up and just completely stunk? Actually, did both Uptons play there or just BJ?
Yeah, both of them. I don't know if Justin did. I think they played together in Atlanta.
You're right. Yeah, it was somewhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, BJ Upton, that's a great one. But yeah. So thought that'd be kind of fun to do. Will Myers, we all love him dropping that fly ball in right field for the Red Sox there. Desmond Jennings, another great one, John.
Blake Snell.
Oh yeah, Yep. I did much better with the pale holes. Yeah, the Rays is tougher for sure. Not
it's
a lot
just
of
little history.
Yeah. But Mike Zunino, good one.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Nice one, John Temple. Good pulls. But
who was the catcher that was there for a bunch of years?
Jose Lobatone.
What?
Jose Lobatone. He took that splitter off Koji.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But the catcher before him, Lowe and Lau. I'll accept both. Desmond Jennings was the answer to Harrison.
Desmond Jennings, thank you. I could not think of his name.
Yeah. I know the catcher you're talking about, and
Navarro.
Diana
Navarro. Yep. I could not think of his name.
Yep.
John Flaherty, Toby Hall, other catchers.
Yep. I mean, Mr. AL East now played there last year. Goggles. Jansen.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Danny Jansen solving the problems of one AL East team at a time.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, those are fun. I like doing that. It's kind of cool. A little bit different.
That'd be a lot of fun to do as like a round table with other people, just to see how long you can get it to go.
1,000%. Jonathan Lucroy, he might have played there. I don't remember him in Tampa though. Sal Fasano.
Didn't Manny Ramirez play in Tampa at one point? Like, I feel like some of these guys just like randomly made appearances there.
Yeah. Man, I remember Lucroy with the Brewers. Like, that's the only part that sticks in for me.
Yeah. Manny played 5 games in Tampa. Yay. Before he hung it up.
Yeah, Lucroy.
Fernando Rodney used to have the crooked hat and he'd shoot the bow and arrow.
Oh yeah, Rodney's a good one. Rodney's a great one. But loved it. I'll volunteer to come on and do that. All right, Michael. We'll have to do that sometime.
Okay, there's so many. Like, and the hard part is like we all think of different eras and stuff like that, different types of players. But like when somebody says something like, "Oh yeah," and then that guy from that team too, like it makes you think of other guys.
Yeah, it triggers it for sure. So love it. All right.
Crazy.
On to MLB Trivia, Harrison, to end the show. And there's a common theme to all of the answers. So pay attention to who we got. And at the end, I will ask you what the common theme is. Some weeks it will be really obvious, I think. And other weeks I'm going to get kind of tricky with it. But figured would give it a try. So here is the first question. At the time of his retirement, he held the record for most strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher. He also recorded the same amount of hits in his career as pitching wins.
Interesting.
So who is this player? The hits and the pitching wins.
I know I've seen this somewhere.
Mm-hmm. We've had it as a trivia question.
Like my mind keeps going to Feller, but was he left-handed? I don't think he was.
It's not Feller. It is Warren Spahn, John Carter. Yes.
Got it.
Warren Spahn. Nice job. So Warren Spahn.
I was gonna say, I know I've seen that before, but I could not place it.
Yep. So Warren Spahn. Keep that answer in your head.
Okay.
On May 19th, 1999, this former mayor reached base safely 7 times, including 2 home runs and a 24-12 beatdown of the Colorado Rockies.
I do know this one. The mayor, for me, it's like that one's quick. That's a quick giveaway.
Yeah.
I'll give Chad a minute.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, Warren Spahn got it. Nice job. Yes, sir.
Minus the typo.
Yeah. Yes, John Carter. It is Sean Casey. Nice work. So our 2 answers are Warren Spahn, Sean Casey. So keep that in your heads. There we go. Highlights got it too. Sean Casey. Nice job. All right. Next one. This player hit his very first of many home runs off Roger Clemens at Fenway Park. He debuted with Texas and ended his career in Texas. Who is this player? Yes, sir.
Yep.
Give Chad a minute on this one too. Yep, this guy had quite a bit quite a lot of homers. So
Yeah, just a few.
yeah, not Hamilton. It is Sammy Sosa. Nice job, John Carter and Mike Reed. So Sammy Sosa. So we got Warren Spahn, Sean Casey, Sammy Sosa as the answers. Here's the next one. Which player really kicked it into another gear when he joined the Yankees, making 4 out of his 5 All-Star appearances in the Bronx? Yep.
Great use of the kick.
Yeah, I mean, you know
I still love that clip.
Oh, it's
He's just
so
like, forget
good.
it. I'm just kicking it.
And he prevents a run from scoring.
I know.
Doing it. It's crazy, man.
It worked. It ended up working out great. It looked genius.
Yeah, everybody got it on there.
Everybody's jumping on that one.
Yeah, it is Paul O'Neill. That's awesome. So we got Warren Spahn, Sean Casey, Sammy Sosa, Paul O'Neill. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
It actually has kicks left on his baseball reference page. That's incredible.
I'm going to check that right now. I've never noticed it.
Yeah, that is incredible. Man, that's awesome.
Yes, it does. Bats left, throws left, kicks left. And it links to the clip.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Baseball reference is so good.
So, all right. Warren Spahn, Sean Casey, Sammy Sosa, Paul O'Neill. Here's the next one. This player won the home run derby in the first year of the timed rounds. His first career home run was off Barry Zito in 2011. And he won it in his home ballpark, I'm pretty sure. Not Trout.
Oh, boy. First, because I mean, Cespedes won, but it wasn't timed yet, right?
Right. Think Reds.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, because Stanton won it, it was timed. I don't think that was the first one. So yeah,
it is. Okay. It is Todd Frazier. Nice job. Yeah, Todd Frazier won it. I believe he won it in Cincinnati too, and it was only with like 4 home runs in that timed round. But so let's check my memory here. Warren Spahn, Sean Casey, Sammy Sosa, Paul O'Neill, Todd Frazier.
Yep.
Here's the last one. Or next one. Who was the starting pitcher for the 2004 National League All-Stars, where he gave up 6 runs in 1 inning of work?
Boy, that's a rough start. 2004 NL. So
not Burnett.
Not Burnett.
It wasn't Houston.
Was it a Houston player?
Yes, sir.
So in 2004, like Oswalt.
Nope.
Lidge wouldn't have started. Oh, is this
Yes, it is. Nice. Nope, not Roy Oswalt. It is Roger Clemens. Nice job, John Carter. It is the Rocket with Houston.
Yikes.
Gave up 6 in the first inning. All right, so we got, you're going to help me with this one. Spahn, Casey, Sosa, O'Neill, Frazier, Clemens.
Yep.
Okay. Last one. This player was originally signed by the Dodgers. His original Hall of Fame plaque had his surname in the wrong order until the year 2000, and was finally recast to the proper order of his surnames?
What?
Mm-hmm.
The wrong order.
So I'll tell you, he had, we don't know him as two last names, but he had both his mother's last name and his father's last name on his plaque. And it was wrong. It was in the wrong order.
Oh.
And so then they had to change, they changed it in 2000.
Oh, boy. I have no idea.
And we don't know this guy for having two last names. That's what's kind of unique about it.
Like, I'm assuming that's probably more like it's common to have both names for like the Dominicans and a lot of the Central Americans.
You're in the right ballpark.
South Americans, but I can't. I'm trying to think who that would be.
Look at the colors.
Oh, so that's got to be, that's Pirates colors?
It's Pirates colors.
Oh, is this your favorite player?
It is for
okay.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, anybody in the chat got it?
Chat is awfully quiet. Probably like me sitting there going, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, Stumper.
That's a good one.
It is indeed Roberto Clemente.
What's the other last name?
I had it, and let's see. It was, let's see, Roberto Clemente Walker. So it was his, at first, I think it was Roberto Walker Clemente. And in the Hispanic culture, you put the mom's last name last. You hyphenate it last.
Got it.
And they had flipped it. But yeah, Roberto Clemente. So,
wow.
What is the common theme with these answers?
Oh boy.
We got Warren Spahn, Sean Casey, Sammy Sosa, Paul O'Neill, Todd Frazier, Roger Clemens, Roberto Clemente. I don't love that comment.
Oh,
Ryan.
Man. Did you bring enough to share, Ryan?
Yeah, right. Oh my God, that's incredible.
What is the common theme between Clemente, Clemens, Frazier, O'Neill, Spahn, Casey, Sosa?
They all played Major League Baseball. What do I win?
Wow. Nailed it.
Yeah, crushed it. This one, don't think too deep on this one. But a little bit deeper than they all played baseball. I mean, let's be honest. Good guess, Mom. Not all in the Red Sox.
Clemente played his whole career in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
Frazier played friggin' a bunch of places.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a Cincinnati connection?
Not a Cincinnati connection. I will give you a hint. It is something they wore.
Shoes. They all wore shoes.
No. Come on now.
Oh, is it 21?
It is 21. Yes.
Oh, that was so, as soon as you said that's so dumb.
Players to wear the number 21 at some point in their career.
I'm looking at it going, they all wore 21.
Yep. They all wore the number 21.
You're right. I didn't need to overthink that. I should have just looked at who it was.
I tried to be a little bit easier the first time around with these common themes, but 21. So
well, and you very carefully didn't show us any pictures with jersey numbers that were like easy to read. So
there was a couple in there.
I mean, they're like small and hard to read, but
right there is a 21.
Yeah.
And I think all the other ones were on their backs. A little bit there.
2.
But yeah, 21.
That's good.
So loved it. That was fun kind of putting together there. And I like how I framed it. I just did like bullet points instead of asking like a full-on question. But
yeah, it's fun to do it differently.
Yeah, Michael got it 21. So yeah, you'll see that in a longer segment probably on our Facebook page, but you also see him kind of broke up into smaller reels, so you guys can go show them how smart you are.
Nice.
I love it. But yeah, that's all I had for tonight. Harrison, do you have anything else in the news world, and anybody in the chat want to bring anything up that we want to roll around? We got some time here. We actually finished kind of quote unquote early for us. So do you guys have anything you want to bring while Harrison brings what he wants to bring?
Yeah, so I saw an article just before we came on, and I've got it up here. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but the general consensus was, so it's a Fox News article, and whatever politics you believe in will determine if you think they're a legitimate outlet or not. But so the headline is Trevor Bauer says he'd play in MLB for free. So we asked all 30 teams why he isn't back in the big leagues. And the article is kind of funny because it gives a little bit about the background of Trevor Bauer and all this, but ultimately the answer is there's not an answer. For the most part, teams didn't provide much of an answer. Because of course, why would anybody want to go on the record saying why he's not back? I'll put a link to it in the chat. It's kind of a nothing article, but I just thought it was funny. They actually did ask teams, and the general consensus was, yeah, we're not really going to answer that. And the ones that did answer it kind of gave no real answer.
We all know the answer to that. Let's be honest. We do.
Yes.
It comes with a circus, tent included, but it comes with the full-on circus. Nobody wants that. That's it. That's the answer. Yep. So and that's the general consensus is nobody wants to say it out loud, but everybody kind of acknowledges the fact that he's not back and he won't come back. And that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. And of course his 7-inning no-hitter got everybody talking again, as we knew it would. But I had to laugh. They published an article this morning, and it was I just was like, great. It's a no answer article, but kind of funny that they went down that path. Yeah, Curtis, 1,000%. It's his behavior, right? And Ryan brings that up as like, I don't think they want Bauer filming everything on top of that too. So yeah, I agree. Ryan wants to reiterate JJ Weatherholt for Rookie of the Year, and at this point, I don't think it's close. That kid's a stud. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, not that you need me to say that, like we know he's good, but yeah. All right, I got one for you here, Harrison. So for random topic, can I bring up how done I am with WAR as a comparative stat? It is so ridiculously not useful that it isn't standard from year to year. So he has a problem with how, like, in 2025, the league average could be less than it is in 2026. So then WAR is affected year to year, which I kind of agree with that point. I see where he's coming from. But that's the point of WAR. It's a stat that adjusts to the average of the league. So if the league plays better, well, then you've got to play that much better. If the league plays worse, then you look better. That's actually so the funny thing is that's one of the things I like about WAR is that it's not a static stat. It is actually adjusting year to year based on how the league performs. So you're constantly getting a read on your performance relative to your peer group. And if your peer group does better, yeah, your WAR may suffer. If your peer group does worse, then your WAR is going to look better. And that's why these guys have put up huge WAR numbers year after year. It's like they're just that much better than their peer group. Yeah, I mean, I get that to a certain point, but like we've kind of talked about it on this show numerous times, is like the talent around the league, I feel at the bottom and the top is a lot more squished, right? There's not such a huge gap between those guys anymore because the bottom guys have really raised their level of play. It's not so much that the top guys are playing that much better than Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, all those guys. It's just the bottom has really squished that gap quite a bit, I would say. Right? So, like, is that a fair stat to use to compare to another era of baseball? Maybe year to year in this generation, sure. But like to compare stats over the history of baseball, is that relative? And this is the one that I saw the other day. Dante Bichette in 1993, second in MVP, 40 home runs, 120.
That Facebook page is such trash. Like the guy just puts rage bait posts like that out there. It's because in 1993, everybody did what Dante Bichette did, and Dante Bichette couldn't catch a baseball to save his freaking life, and he hit in Coors Field, which it also adjusts for. Dante Bichette's season in 1993, if you take him out of Coors Field and measure his defensive play, he was a replacement level player. Like he wasn't great. He hit 40 home runs, drove in 120 when everybody else in his peer group did the same thing. He did it at Coors Field and he couldn't catch the ball. I mean, every like 2 months, somebody runs that Dante Bichette 93 season as a rage bait post. And it's just the people that don't understand WAR love to like jump on it and be like, this is crazy. That was such a good season. No, because everybody else in the league friggin' did it.
Right. But
I think nothing unique.
Yeah. But I mean, I also think that's my point is like when Willie Mays did that back in whatever, like the rest of the league wasn't doing that. So like his WAR is going to be astronomically higher. So when we're
as it should be because he was a unicorn. Like the value of hitting 40 and 120 in 1956 when nobody else could do it versus doing it 93 and everybody did it is different.
I mean,
and that's
I guess.
And that's what I like about WAR is that it's measuring your value relative to your peer group. It's measuring how much better were you than the rest of the league. If the league is better and you're better than them, then you get that benefit. If the league is worse and you are better than them, you don't get that benefit. But in case of Willie Mays, where you were that much better than your peer group, it's crazy. And that's why, like, I get it. I totally understand why people don't like WAR. Because you can't really point at, this is exactly how I compare it. Because it's just not that clean. But Bichette sweats mayonnaise. What? Sorry.
Edibles are kicking in for sure. Yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, I just saw that comment. I'm like, what? But that's the point of WAR. WAR is trying to give you an accurate measure of 40 and 120 sounds awesome, but if everybody else did it, it's really not that big a deal.
I mean, it's still a pretty big deal. I don't know.
It's the only stat that actually adjusts, the baseline adjusts to the rest of the league. Because it's trying to give you context and it's trying to give you something that's relative to how everybody else views it.
Yeah. John says, but he's not wrong on this one. If you take him out of Coors, saying that is like wiping before you poop. It doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, but guys that hit in ballparks where the ball doesn't carry get consideration and get, you get like an ad back for that. So like it tries to normalize for the ballpark too. In 1993 in Coors pre-Humidor, go look at the numbers of those guys. That place was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
Every ball went out of the yard. It was bananas.
Are we really trying to compare Mays to Bichette?
Oh, no.
Ever? No, but
Jesus, no. Those are just easy points to pull at. But yeah, I mean, like I like WAR for what it is. It's measuring what a guy's season meant relative to how the rest of the league performed. Because 120 sounds awesome, but if everybody else did it, then you're just an average player.
Yeah, I mean, but I get this point by Mike, right? But he also led the league in hits, homers, RBI, slugging, and total bases. So he led the league.
Yeah.
So 1.2 seems low when you look at that.
Yeah, did it in Coors, which that factors that down. Couldn't play any defense to save his life. But yeah, he hit a bunch. But a lot of the guys that he beat out were not very far behind him.
Does defensive WAR really play that much into overall WAR?
It can. I mean, it wouldn't. If I can I pull up 1993 Dante Bichette WAR? I wonder if I can get the details behind it because it should all exist. I bet you'll find his defensive WAR was atrocious, but I bet you'll also find offensively he didn't get that much consideration because around the league, yeah, he might have led the league, but he was not that far ahead of people.
But only 1.2 worth? Like you're telling me he was only 0.2 above the average.
He was 1.2 wins better than the average player. All things considered.
That's crazy to me.
Oh, you're right. It's not 93. It was 95.
Can't help where you play or who you play, just how you play against them. I mean, that's a fair point, John Temple. But
90. Okay, that's the 40. Yeah, 340, 40, and 128. When he finished runner-up for the MVP.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a 95 season.
John Carter said if that's the case, Babe Ruth would have the highest WAR ever. He was so far above anyone else in the league.
I mean, Babe Ruth doesn't have the highest WAR ever, but he's damn close to the top at 182.
182 is ridiculous.
Well, that's what the number's absurd. I mean, Babe Ruth is still number one at 182. Walter Johnson's at 168. The gap is huge. I mean, Barry 2.8. He's in fourth. Willie Mays is fifth at 156. I mean, Babe Ruth is significantly ahead of the pack.
Who's three then? Lou Gehrig?
Three is Cy Young.
Cy Young.
So yes, I mean, Babe Ruth is your highest WAR player, and it's not close. I mean, Babe Ruth had some seasons of he had a 14 WAR season in 1923.
That's crazy.
Did you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He had 9 seasons of 10 plus WAR.
Dang. Did you pull up the Bichette fielding? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the details of his WAR. I'm not finding. 5.
Curtis says, I like WAR, but I don't base it on my all-time team rating. I only use it as a tiebreaker of who belongs in that lineup and who's on the bench. Babe 182, all the small things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's fine, John. Like, I mean, I'm not a huge WAR guy either. I think for me, I'll use it as kind of like Curtis says, maybe as a tiebreaker. That's just me personally. I'd rather go by other stats, but maybe that makes me an old baseball head. I don't really know, but I mean, I understand it's really kind of the only measuring stick we have other than the eyeball test to compare eras of baseball, but it's not necessarily my favorite either.
No, you have to take it for what it is. Like WAR is nothing more than measuring your season against the league average for your position group, your peer group. It's just saying, hey, you're this much better than the guys around you, or worse in some cases. But that's all relative to how the guys around you play defense, run the bases, hit, all those things. Like it takes into account all that stuff and adjusts for ballpark. It's just trying to give you a barometer of like how much better than the league average was this guy. Yeah. Because batting average of 340, 40, and 120, that could be amazing, or it could be what everybody's doing. It's the only way to get context around like, what is the total package? But it's a stat that it's not perfect, and you have to take it for what it is. It's just showing you how a guy measured up to his peer group. But that's why you have some of these guys like Babe Ruth, like Willie Mays, like Cy Young, and that have these absurd WAR numbers because they are just that much better than their peer group.
So in 1995, I found the league stats. So let's see. Batting average was 267. Hold on. Why is it?
So Dante Bichette's defensive WAR was a minus 2.5.
So that's where it is. So he would have been a 3-something, even if he was on average for defense.
If he was an average defender, he would have been a 3.7 WAR.
Which is a lot more palatable.
But WAR takes into account offensive numbers, base running abilities, ballpark you play in, defensive abilities, and defensive stats.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole package. So like the 340 batting average, 40, 120 is only a piece of it.
Yeah. Ryan says, I do like that it encompasses all aspects of the game in one number. And yeah.
Yeah.
But
and again, like it's one of those stat, like I love the stat because I can appreciate it for what it is. But like I'm not basing my all-time team on just WAR numbers. Like I use WAR as a sense of like how, to me, it's the only way you can compare guys from generation to generation to just because it just tells you like how much better were they than the guys around them.
Yeah, fair. But hard to compare 1968 to 2009, for instance. It's just totally completely games.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, the comparison of the stats between eras is pointless. WAR just basically says how much better was this guy than the guys around him.
Yeah.
And what it shows you is those outlier players like Babe Ruth, who is just that much better than the entire friggin' league.
Yeah. And not close.
Yeah, not close.
But again, the eyeball test also tells us that. Like we know
his stats in that era are so above and beyond the guys around him.
Right.
But it's one of those stats. Like there are people that love it and will fight to the death for it. There are people that hate it. There are people that see it and just kind of go whatever that means and disregard it. I mean, I'd love to see them come up with like a perfect way to compare, but it doesn't exist.
Right.
Like you can't compare.
Yeah. It's too much math for me, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's the closest thing you've got to a way to compare across baseball history.
For now.
They'll come up with something new down the road, and
yeah.
But like Dante Bichette was a hitting machine, but he couldn't do anything else. He couldn't run, he couldn't throw, he couldn't field. Yeah. But he could hit. And playing in Coors doesn't help his cause. Because of course back then Coors was ridiculous. That was all pre-humidor when literally, I mean, look at the numbers in the 90s to the guys at Coors Field and tell me that ballpark had no effect on what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers, those Galarraga's numbers, Bichette's numbers, Helton and Walker got some benefit there before the humidor came into effect. It was nuts.
Yeah. No. I agree. But
yeah, you have to take it for what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. My second least favorite player ever, Cueto, Bichette, Machado.
Yeah. I'm with you on Machado. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
Cueto, I guess I don't see the hate for Cueto. I know Bichette was a guy that not everybody liked.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Any other stories from around the league?
Well, the WAR thing sent me down a way different path. So
I kind of figured it would. That's why I kind of threw it in there. But yeah,
like I like WAR. I appreciate what it does, but like I'm with Curtis. Like to me, it's not like the number one metric I use to judge players. It just helps me understand, like, in the context of that season, like how good was it really?
Right. No.
But anyways, news wise, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else either. We will be back on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, thank you guys for being with us and investing your time in us. It's greatly appreciated. We say it every day, every episode. But you guys are the backbone of what we do. So really appreciate it. Love all the takes, love the participation. And this show is just as much yours as it is ours. So thank you for being a part of this. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, get a lot of baseball in, get some rest. And we will see you Sunday night, 9 p.m.